Say, what's cracking, YouTube? It's your boy 16 to life, and I'm back like I'm on a parole violation. Yard down! Now, for those of y'all that's new to my page, in 1994, I got arrested. I was eventually sentenced to 16 years plus life, and I served 24 years straight in the California prison system. During those times, I accumulated some good stories. I'm going to share one with y'all today. In the event you happen to like this story, then definitely be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, subscribe, and most importantly, hit that notification bell. That way, anytime I drop a story, you will be notified ASAP, and you can hop on it whenever you're ready. Also, the flow is nothing like Kurtis Blow. Don't get it twisted, man. I rap. To check out some of my songs, go to my YouTube playlist, scroll down to gas stations. You will find a lot of my music there. Also, I got a song called Never Gave Me Therapy. It's on all major streaming sites. Check your boy out. I gas. Now let's hop right up into this story right here. So, in 1993, I got caught up. I was at a house party. I eventually got into it with somebody. I ended up getting started shooting basically, and eventually I was charged with 3 attempted murders. Now, of course, I wasn't turning myself in, because where they do that at? So I went on the run. I was on the run for about a year, and eventually I get apprehended after I'm on the run for about a year. So during the time that I was on the run, I subsequently get charged with another murder. So when I'm finally arrested, I got these 3 attempted murders, and I got another murder that they charged me with, right? So I was arrested in the city of Fontana. My crimes happened in the county of Riverside, but in the city of Banning. So when they arrested me in Fontana, they took me to a Fontana jail. After about 2 or 3 hours, I was transferred to a Riverside County jail. Eventually, I get housed. Now, I'm in the Riverside County jail maybe about a day or two. I get into a fight with somebody. I get jumped, actually, and get cut on my back. Now, I did a story about that, and the name of that story is called Sometimes You Take a L. So from there, I get transferred to the Old County Jail. When I'm in the Old County Jail, I'm not even probably in there an hour or two making up my bed or whatever. I get into another fight, get jumped again, and get into another squabble. The name of that story is called I Got Jumped in the County Jail and Wanted Revenge. So while I'm in the Old County Jail for a little bit, I end up going to a visit. I get jumped at the visit by some essays, and the name of that story is called The Essays Caught Me Slipping. So you'll definitely want to check that story out. Real funny, hilarious story. So I guess after a while of me being in this county jail, getting into a lot of fights or whatever, they transferred me to another jail in the city of, I believe it was Temecula or Murrieta, which was part of the Riverside County jail system. And so now this time I'm put into a dormitory type setting. Well, actually, the setup was kind of like you would see on 60 Days In. You have the guard sitting there in the bubble, in the little like round thing, and with the tinted windows, and it's actually three different pods around, in this little control booth that he's sitting in. And the one that I happened to be sent to was the only one that was dorm type living. So when you'd walk in, the electric door would open. Maybe about 5 feet off to your right was a wall that had a wall running diagonal that had maybe 3 or 4 phones with the little metal desk and the wood and the metal chair hooked to it, where you could use the phones. Immediately to the front of us, it was maybe about, I don't know, 7 or 8 metal tables with the four no, they was long metal tables with the seats attached to them, where we could, eat our lunch, breakfast, and dinner. And then when you come through that little gate, to the left, there was another couple of long metal benches where we could, play games, write letters, so on and so forth. And then right in front of that was a sink that had a hot water fountain for us to make our soups or whatever. And they had some TVs up on the wall and stuff. Now, in this particular tank right here, for whatever reason, the black population was always kept short. Normally maybe about 8 of us. If we happened to get up to 14 or 15 blacks, we considered ourselves, deep. I remember there was a few dudes up in there. One dude I referred to in some of my older videos as S. He was a gang member from the LA County area. He had done about, well, no, he was about 35 years old, maybe 5'10", 210 pounds, somewhere up in there. And the reason I refer to him as S is because later on, he ended up writing the DA letters saying that I had confessed my case to him, and he came to court and testified as a witness against me. I just happened to find out on really an accident, maybe about a month earlier, that he passed away, man. So anyway, I still don't mention his name or whatever, right? Now, in this tank, they had about 20 whites, and now looking back on it, I believe it was probably a tank primarily for Pisces. The Pisces was probably about 40 deep up in there. Now, I believe the definition of a Paisa is basically somebody that's born in Mexico or the neighboring countries around Mexico, and now they live in America, whatever. And so, I believe that Paisa is something like maybe countryman or my brother or something like that. And so that's, to the best of my ability, what a Paisa is. And like I said, the Paisas were the majority in that particular dorm. And so, now, up until this point, really, I had never really been in any major trouble. Actually, that was the first time I had been in jail in the California county jail system. I'd been to juvenile hall before, but I had never been to county jail in out here in California. So I say that to say I wasn't really aware of the politics. I'm from a small town called Bannon. At that point in time, I hadn't ran across any of my homies who had laced me and gave me, the rules and regulations of doing time. I didn't know that, you couldn't get into a fight with another race and it would just be head up. I didn't find that out till later, that pretty much every race, sticks to their own to a certain degree and handles problems within that own race. At this point in time, I hadn't been laced and provided that information, so I didn't know that. So now, like I said, the dude that I referred to as S, he had been to the pen a couple of times, and this time he was being charged with a robbery, and he was facing his second strike and was looking at a bunch of time. He was 35 years old, and he would say this a lot. Man, man, this how he kind of talk with a list. He's like, man, damn, man, I'm 35 years old, man. They about to give me 28 years. I can't do all that time, man. I'm gonna call my mama. And he would run to the phone, get on the phone and call his mama and, tell her that he needed a lawyer, that, the public defender that they was providing him with wasn't doing nothing. He was about to get all his time, so on and so forth, right? So now, one particular day, we sitting on his bunk or my bunk, I can't remember which, and we playing cards and stuff. So he say, oh, hey, man, look up, man, they fighting. So when he say they fighting, he's talking about the Pisces. So I look up to the right of me, I look down there, I see two Pisces fighting. Now, one of the dudes appeared to be in his early 30s, maybe was about 5'7", and looked like he was about 175, 180. He definitely had some size on him, and he looked like he, worked construction or something like that. He had a, real healthy, appearance about himself, that he was muscle bound. Now, the other dude that he was fighting appeared to be 18, 19 years old. A tall, skinny guy, maybe 5'8", 5'9", maybe 140 pounds, extremely thin. So now, to me, it was clear and obvious that the older dude definitely knew what he was doing when it came to that pugilistic, those pugilistic skills. He was putting them hammers on old boy, on his helmito. Beep, boop, pop, beep, boop, pop. Now, the younger dude, he couldn't fight a lick. He was just rushing the dude, flailing with his head down, swinging all wild. So after they down there squabbing, maybe about 10, 15 seconds after I look up, boop, pop, beep, boop, pop. The older dude knocks the young dude down. Boop, bop, bust him up. He stepped back, knock him down. Now, when he knocked him down, he dancing on his toes, Now, the young dude, he gets up with his head down again and just rushes him again. You can tell that he's angry. He's flailing. He's got his head down. He's rushing wild, windmill and swimming, like Michael Phelps. So now, when he rushed the older dude kind of take a little step to the side, which, like I say, once again, made me knew that he at least had some training, in throwing them things. And when old boy rushes him with his head down, he starts hitting him with them uppercuts. Boop, bop, boop, bop. When old boy lift up his head, he give him a nice little two-piece. Boop, bop, set him down again. Now, when they down there squabbing, of course, because who don't like a good fight? You got some Pisces around there watching, and they talking in Spanish. I can hear them saying, "Sígalo, sígalo, sígalo," which is follow him, and they hollering, "Get him," and all this old, this old type of stuff. So now he didn't knock the young dude down again. Now he's bouncing on his toes. He's waiting. He's down there bouncing. He's waiting for the young dude to get up. Now, this time, the young dude don't hop up quite as quick as he hopped up the second time. And so now when he finally does get up, it's obvious that his equilibrium is off. This dude is punch drunk, you know what I'm saying? He's not really ready to continue. But once again, he rushes the older dude. Now, the older dude, he don't give a damn, He's busting this dude up. As long as this dude wants some, he giving it to him. Beep, pop, beep, boop, pop, beep, pop. So while I'm watching him put these lefts and rights up on him, all of a sudden, before I even realize it, I jump up and I say, hey, And so S, the dude who I'm sitting with, he said, hey, man, you can't do that. You can't do that, man. You can't say nothing. So, eventually they stop fighting, right? And so then that's when S, he tells me again, he like, hey, Kill, man, when you see other people fighting like that, man, you can't say nothing, man. They getting into it, homie. You can't say nothing. Hey, you gotta mind your business up in here and stuff like that, man. You don't want to get involved in stuff like that. So he finally, like I said, he laced me and tell me a little bit about the racial politics, because up until that point, I had never been to county jail in California. Around late 1989, I had moved to Billings, Montana, pretty much, and started selling dope. And so I was really living out there. Even though I went out there, it was really supposed to be, I was visiting on a vacation, but eventually, I ended up staying out there and all that old type of stuff. So I had not necessarily been to jail in California, and I didn't know about the politics out here. Now, luckily and fortunate for me that either none of the Pisces heard it or they didn't come say anything, because, that was a clear violation, right? And, sometimes, you have people, even within your own race, that don't like you for whatever reason. People within your own race, within your own car, within your own organization or whatever. And so they never did come down and say nothing. So that was fortunate for me. But now, had I been in prison and somebody heard that, I definitely would have been out of pocket. And, if somebody had came down and said something, then, I definitely would have been in trouble and probably had to get some form of discipline, And so, because consider it like this, right? Say one of the Pisces had heard me saying that or whatever, and they had come down and said, hey, man, they talked to somebody black. Hey, when my homies was down there fighting, your homie right there, man, he jumped up, he hollered, hey, and who was he hollering hey to, man? We believe he was calling for the police, and we don't want that dude around, man. So, yeah, I definitely would have had to go. Now, in my defense, right, I definitely wasn't calling for the police. I didn't even know neither one of those Pisces. I'd never talked to neither one of them. I didn't know their name. But, who doesn't like a good fight, right? So I'm watching and enjoying the fight. But once it goes to clearly being a unmatched contest, I believe that just basic human concern kicks in. Who wants to see a dude just beat and pummel to the point where it's no longer fun? You know what I'm saying? But like I said, by me being fresh to the jail system, I didn't react in a way that I should have reacted, which also reminds me of a time when, and I told a story, I called that the Asians get active. And it happened to be this particular Asian that I knew and that I was cool with, would talk, play basketball with, stuff like that. He happened to get into a altercation basically with the entire Asian car, so it was him versus however many Asians was on the yard, 25 at that particular time, man. And he was knocked down and kicked in his face several times with those hard prison state boots, literally maybe about 10, 15 feet away. And so I'm hearing this dude kicked in the face with them boots. It was a cold, sickening sound. And so at that time, I had to remind myself, hey, man, stay calm and don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's cold to see somebody that you have a relationship with, beat up to the point where you realize now this dude's life is in jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? And so, like I said, sometimes, pure human concern kicks in. But when we're living under these conditions, due to the nature of prison, you definitely have to keep your mouth closed, or like I said, there's always somebody looking to politic on you, and sometimes it's people from your own organization, people from your own race, who may not like you for whatever reason. And the second that you do something which clearly opens an avenue and is a direct violation of prison protocol, prison policy, or possibly rules of their organization, they necessarily really won't be tripping on whatever you've done. It'll be like they'll be more satisfied. Now they have a basically a justifiable reason to get you out the way, to see you harmed and have something done to you. Like I said, fortunately for me, that didn't happen, but that was the one time, man, where I definitely crossed the racial politics and should have kept quiet. But anyway, you already know who it is. It's your boy 16 to life. Resume normal program.